Perfect. So let's jump in and see what is next in the sub programs. Okay. So just to give you a recap of what we did so far, we worked on the data structures as well as we worked on the point where we wrote some data to a file, right? So if you check the code base which we have on Collab, you can see we worked with three different functions. One is to read something out of the file, and what is AI companion? There's a AI system, right? Okay, yeah. So we worked on to how to read some data from a file, as well as we wrote some data to a file, and we went through a loop and read the data back again. And then also we did something where we appended some data, where we wrote some names into a file and we read it. So just keep in mind, so the points you just need to remember is these are known as the flags. Okay, so we have three different flags. One is to read, R, and the other one is to write, W, and the third one is A, to append. Okay, so if you want to read something, just R would do, and if you use W, remember, if that file is not there, if the file doesn't exist, then what this will do is this will automatically create the file and will overwrite it. Okay, so if you use the write method at any point, it will automatically override it. Hari, okay, so and then appending will automatically append the data to the end of the file. As long as there's data, it will keep on appending it into the file itself. So you will not lose any content which is already there. Okay, so let's jump in and see what is this subroutines. Okay, subroutines or subprograms. There, in this case, we do have few. Give me 1 second. Yes, nice. Okay, now I'm in the screen. Okay, so there are. I'll rephrase it. When it comes to a program, there are some components which sometimes we might have to take it out. Okay, so these modules, these parts are known as subroutines. So let's check and see what is this, what's the requirement to have a subroutine. Okay, so primary idea is to actually move something to a section called a function. Okay, so it's like this. Now let's take a simple example. Just think if you have a prompt where you need to return your name, right? So if this is just to only to return your name, then okay, so just think let's do something like this. So I'm going to create a new code. Okay, so just let's say we'll take the input and what is your name. Okay, and print name. So if we run this, give it a second, it's connecting, and okay, so if I type Vipula and press enter, I'm going to get the name Vipula, right? So this is just to get the input. Think if we have to print some text with this name, right? Hello. If you do something like this, see, so now this is printing hello Vipula by attaching this particular hello string into the beginning of the name, right? Okay, so think if we have this, if we have multiple locations in our code, so code code එකක් කියන්නේ පොඩි එකක් නෙමෙයිනේ. So code එකක් කියන්නේ it will have multiple files at multiple locations where you will have different functionalities, right? So just think if all these functionalities are written on a single screen. හිතන්න මේ වගේ ඒවා 10ක් තියෙනවා කියලා. හරි. Just think if we have something like this repeating all over the place. Okay. Now think of this in a different way where okay. So think your product manager or the let's say the person who is in charge of your work. He comes and tells you that change hello to welcome. Okay. දැන් මොකද කරන්නේ? Now if he asks you to change hello to welcome, then basically you have to go through the entire code, right? You will have to find everywhere where we mention hello is, and we'll have to change this to welcome. If we make a way now, in this script we can do it because this is just a small script where we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 occurrences. Think if we are working in a massive platform where you have like thousands and thousands of files, then you're done, right? It will take you a long time to exactly find where this point is, right? So to give a solution for this, what we do is we use a method, use a development principle known as functions or subprograms, or sometimes we call it subroutines also, right? So how it works is we create a subprogram within the main code and we isolate a certain block of code into the subprogram or to the function. So let's try this out. So now, since I'm just going to say welcome or some sort of a word to the function, sorry, when the user enters the name, let's create a function and let's do something like this. Okay, otherwise I can actually do something like this, return the name. Okay, now see how it works. Now when I run what is your name, Vipula, and press enter, now I'm going to get the word hello Vipula, right? So what I did was I created a function called greet, okay, and then inside this greet function I passed in the variable which has the string. So in this case, since we are taking the input from the user's action, okay, and then we passed it into the greet method, the greeting method, and the greet method performs a specific logical activity, right? So here now it's basically taking this in and then we are printing out the name. Now the fun part is, now since now we already have this greet method, okay, let me move this method to the top. Now since we have the greet method, now we can use it anywhere in the code because now that method is already defined now. So let's say if I need to add something like greet, let's say Kasu, okay, and if I run this, now this is still asking my name. So when I press Vipula, at the same time this function gets executed. Okay, so I'll just comment this for the moment just to show you guys how this works. So let's say if I need to reuse this code in, let's say, at multiple locations, I can still do it. I just need to call the method greet, let's say, and I run the code and it works. Okay, so the simplest idea behind a subroutine is a subfunction or a subprogram is to isolate a certain part of a logic or a logical statement into a separate function. So it will basically contain it can contain any sort of code in it which will perform a specific task. Okay, so in this case, now when we code, we always we use functions, because that's the only way where we will be able to isolate the code. Otherwise, now when it comes to programming, guys, the first and foremost principle you need to keep in mind is we always must reuse the code. Okay, so whatever said and done, let's say if you have a certain module which will perform a specific activity, you really need to make sure that you will reuse that same code as much as possible, because no point if you just build it and if you plan to use it only once, because then you would be basically wasting a massive lot of time and effort, because you will be reiterating your development work. Okay, so let's try out one more example and let's see how it works. Okay, so this is the greeting one. Okay, so print greet and name. Alright. So I'll just oops, I'll keep this commented for the moment. Okay, now let's see, I'll put a comment and function to return a greeting for the name passed in. Okay, so we'll keep this, that is it. Nice. Okay, I'll create another function to return the total of two numbers passed in. Okay, so let's try this as well. Okay, so here what we do is we take two numbers in, number 1 and number 2, and then we add them together. Since we have the arithmetic operator inside the function, we can add them together and we can print it out. Okay, so can you guys try this out? Binlook and the hum. Can you work on it? Just try out the code and see how it works. Yes.
And sir, like send the your collab so we can like leave like end your collab.
Sure. Hold on. I am using the same collab. Wait, I put it on the chat. Hold on. Yeah, I just sent it.
Thank you, sir.
Sure thing. So just try this out, and we'll see few more advanced options. I'll give you a few minutes to try this. Yeah, got it, Bill. Hello. Oh, okay. Okay. Hari, no problem.
මේක
Sure thing. Sure thing, no problem. මම මේ රෙකෝඩින් එක තාම අප්ලෝඩ් කරේ නැහැ මම දැන් දානවා. අද දවස් ඇතුළත මම අප්ලෝඩ් කරනවා. හරි. නෑ අපෝ නෑ ඒක කන්ටිනියු කරන එක දිගටම. ඒ මොකද අයියෝ ඒ කියන්නේ මේ නැවතුණා කියන්නේ මේකද මේ කොහෙද ගුරු නිවසේද? ආ ඕ හරි. හරි මම නෑ ඔව් අපොයියෝ මන්න නවත්තන්නේ මම සමහරට පොඩ්ඩක් මේ මගේ ක්ලාස් ටයිම් එක මං හිතන්නේ අපිට පුළුවන් වෙයි චුට්ටක් මේ චුට්ටක් හරි නෑ මම බැලුවේ මොකද මේ ටයිම් එක පොඩ්ඩක් වෙනස් කරගත්තා නම් අර මේ අපිට මේවා කරගන්න පුළුවන් මේගොල්ලන්ටත් අර ඇවෙනකන් ඉන්න ඕනේ නැහනේ ඒකයි මම බැලුවේ මොකද මේ මගේ අර 4ට තියෙන ක්ලාස් එක දැන් ඉවරයි ඒක නිසා මගේ මේ පොඩි අයගේ ක්ලාස් එක ඉස්සරහට ගත්තා නම් මට පුළුවන් මේ 4 අපිට මේ ක්ලාස් එක දාන්න 6 ඉඳන් 8 වෙනකන් එතකොට මේගොල්ලන් මේ මහරය වෙනකන් ඉන්න ඕනේ නැහනේ ඒක මං ගුරුගෙදත් මේ ගුරු නිවසත් එක්ක මං කතා කරලා ඒක මං සොට් මේවා කරලා ගන්න. හරි no problem. හරි okay. Bye. Hello. All good?
Recording in progress.
Give me one moment. මගේ මයික්‍රොෆෝන් එකේ බැටරි එක බහිනවා. Why isn't it charging? Yeah, now it's okay. Perfect. Hi, okay. Kumukudune. All good.
So I think I'll have to do it later because like Guru Sir's collab is not even loading.
Why? Okay. Yeah, nice. මේ මං ඉන්නේ කාගේ කියද? මං ආයේ ඉන්නේ. හරි. Yeah, what's something to do with the links, is it? No worries. Anyway, just try to check it and see. Yeah? Okay, so now I'll jump back. So it's a look at the microphone is actually a DJI micro, this thing. So this has two devices in it. One device is what I'm wearing, and I have another. I'll send a picture on the group. I have another device which is connected to my laptop. So that has a that has a separate battery. I just sent a picture on the WhatsApp group. So that has a separate battery where it lasts for about, I think about 4.5 to 5 hours. And later on, when the battery goes down, we have to plug it in. That's why that's how the wireless Bluetooth part works. So yeah. Okay, so this microphone battery is actually quite good. That automatically gets charged up when I put it in here. So we do have two microphones also. What happened was I think it didn't charge last night. That's why I used it for 2 classes and then it was gone. Okay, anyway, so I hope the idea of the the function is clear. So in Python, so you guys just need to keep in mind. So how we write this is when it comes to pseudocode, we do write this as using the statement called function, which has to be capitals all, and then we put a function name. Okay, and then we put parentheses. So where we will be basically starting to pass some data in. and then inside the function we can make sure that we write the logic. So just keep in mind, we do have few the points you just need to follow up exactly, because when you are writing a function in Python, remember the syntax. We have the name, okay, so the name is there at the beginning, which is known as def. Now in pseudocode we call it as function. And if you take JS Online, if I type this on JavaScript will also call this as a function. See, function, let's say greet and return name. Okay, so this is how you write this on console.log greet and let's say Vipula, and if I run this, you can see it works. So the syntax differs a lot. So now in Python the syntax is actually easy to understand because it's just with a bunch of let's say spaces here and there. But when it comes to JavaScript and any other language, the syntax changes. So here you can see we define it using function, and then we have the function name and the argument. So the definition part is quite similar, where you will add the function name and the arguments, but you have to make sure that now in other languages the function code, the what do you call it, the scope is actually marked using two curly brackets, these two guys. Okay, so because of that reason, whatever you put inside the function body has to go in. Okay, so I just so this is how it works on JavaScript. I can show this on, let's try this on PHP also. So in PHP also it's almost 90% similar to what we have with JavaScript. The only thing is we do use few, the syntax is a bit different, but then again if I use the same thing, greet Vipula, and if I run this, you guys can see it's almost the same. Only a certain little bits and pieces here and there gets differs. Like example, the name, the variable gets a dollar sign, and likewise the plus sign to concatenate the string becomes changes into a dot, and likewise. But the way we call the functions are almost similar. Okay, so I just want to show you this because now you know that why, like once you learn this, then you, like once you get the structure to your mind, then that's it. Okay, it's quite easy for you to continue. Give me 1 second, I'll just take a screenshot of this. Yeah. Okay, so jumping back to the collab. So now when it comes to, so now I hope you guys have a clear idea about functions. Let me jump into another section inside the functions where now things get a little bit interesting. Okay, now when it comes to a code, we do have two different scopes. Okay, because scope එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ ඔයාගේ code එක වෙන වෙනම accessible levels වලට කඩන්න පුළුවන්. Okay, so the code can be split into different accessible levels. So we have we have a primary scope which is known as the global. Right? So global means whatever you type here, make up name කියලා දාලා මෙහෙම දැම්මොත්, okay, this can be accessed throughout the entire code, right? Because this is defining as a global variable. Okay, so whatever which is there in the main scope, we take that as a global. Okay, then this is how it changes in the function. So if I create a different function and let's say if we create a function like this and මෙතන ඇතුලේ මේ function එකේ if I try to print the name and if we try to call this function, see what happens. It's all what happened. Now here you get the variable lead, right? So the global variables are actually passed in to the functions. Even if you don't do it like here, if the variable is defined globally, that will get passed in. But let's try out Bilnaka, I didn't get your message. Zoom is not responding. No, what's the issue? This should be some sort of a issue with Zoom. I think if you can restart and see, it should work. You can just you don't have to send this. You can just put don't send and restart. Okay, super. So back to the function. Now you guys. So now here you guys can see that since we have the variable outside defined in the global scope. Okay, I'll call this the global variable. Okay, this global variable is available to be accessed throughout the code, right? So here you can see, yeah, even if I try to access it inside a function, inside a method, still I'm able to access it. But let's see what happens if I create a function, if I create a variable inside a function. Okay, so let's do something like this. I'll create it as first name. Okay, so first name is a global one, right? So when I run this, it works. Then let's create another one, local. Let's create a local variable called last name. Okay, now let's print these together, the first name and the last name. Okay, so let's try this out, how it works. Okay, now you can see I created a global variable outside and a local variable inside, and then I printed both the variables together, right? Now let's try to access this local variable from outside. Okay, so if I try to do this same thing here like this and run, see what happened. So now I'm getting an error. Now this error says the variable last name is not defined. See, now I hope you get the point, right? So if you define a variable in the global scope, so that means that's the main scope of the code, that variable will be available throughout the entire code file or entire code system, right? But if you define a local variable inside a function, then that is going to be only available inside that function and not to the global scope. Binloka, I sent it on the WhatsApp group. Did I send it to the wrong group? No. No, I just sent it to the same group which I. Mm, you're not there, is it?
Sir, can you check the chat? So I like send a code that I use AI for help with.
Okay. Okay, okay. This cat chat, yeah. Yep. It's let me copy this and run it and see. Hi, it doesn't let you copy, no? Yeah, you can. Okay. You have to drag the, you have to slowly drag the mouse and copy. Okay, nice. So what does it do? It checks for the correct password. Okay, maximum attempts. Yeah. Okay. Enter. Yeah. So it basically loops through checking, and so this is maximum attempts. Yeah. Okay. So this is a, what do you call this type of loops?
While loop, like it
Why?
like keep
Yes,
repeating.
correct. It is a while loop, but I mean, what is the type of this loop? We talked about this some time back. මොකද්ද loop එකට කියන්නේ? මොන loop එකක්ද මේ? You have two different types of loops too.
I can't remember.
So here, the condition is actually checking before getting into the loop, right? So this is known as a precondition loop. අපි loop එකට එන්න කලින්නේ අපි condition එක check කරන්නේ. So මේකේ කරන්නේ, here we check if the attempts is less than the max attempts, then we loop the user. Right? So this is a precondition loop. Just නිකන් නම මතක තියාගන්නකො. This is known as a precondition. Post condition loop එකක් වුණොත් වෙන්නේ, you have to go with a do while. So first you do while you check the condition. Got the idea?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So nice. And yeah, okay, yeah, this seems good. Maybe AI is actually very powerful. You just need to make sure that you give the correct details. Huh? And also, you do have this option where you can actually click here to get an explanation of the error. That will basically give you a clear idea about what is exactly going on. You can use that as well. Huh? Remember to use it wisely. So perfect. So now, do you guys understand what happened here at this code? Daham, did you get the point?
Yes, sir.
So we have the global variables, we have the local variables. So the global variables are available throughout the system, and the local variables are only specifically available for a specific scope. Okay, so in your book, it basically does not use the word scoping. So the scope is actually something which we use in most of the programming languages. We call it a global scope and a local scope. Okay, but yes, it's known as global variables and local variables. Okay, so then let's say if you want to return a value out from a method or a function, okay, then we have no choice other than to actually use this method called return. So let's say now this local variable is something which is inaccessible now, so you do not have access to this. So the only way, if you need to have access to this, then what you can do is you can get this out using the keyword known as return. Okay, so if you return, so whenever a function is executed, okay, whenever you run a function, that function can either perform an activity and stay without returning anything, or that function actually can return a value out. Okay, so this is how it's going to work out. So if I do something like this now, now what I am actually doing is I am returning the local variable back to the global scope. So here now we have the global variable Vipula, and inside the greeting function, inside the greet function, we have the local name, the local variable last name. And what I'm now doing is I'm returning this local variable out into another global variable. Right now, if I run this, you can see now the error is no more because now we got the value out. So wrap your mind around this. This is really important because when you are defining variables, you have to be 100% sure on what you are exactly defining, because any small changes within the variables can tamper and damage the code. Okay, so let me ask a question from Daham. If you take this code, Daham, what do you think when it comes to the global and local scopes? What do you think, what type of security vulnerabilities do we have in this code?
On the code I sent you, sir.
Yeah, the code which I'm showing you right now. The code you sent me, correct, yeah.
Sir's asking like what are the like security things we can get from this?
Yeah, what are the vulnerabilities we have in this security wise?
What
Vulnerabilities means risks where somebody can hack and damage your code.
so like somebody can actually like access the program of the code and like change the password or like find the password.
Exactly. දැන් මෙතන මෙහෙමනේ වැඩේ. Now the password is actually defined in the global scope නේ. Global දැන් මේ password correct password කියන variable එක මේක global එකක් නේ තියෙන්නේ. එතකොට someone can literally alter it. දැන් මට පුළුවන් තව කෝඩ් එකක් ලියන්න. දැන් මම හදිස්සියක් කොහේ හරි තැනක මෙහෙම දාලා තිබුණා. හරි. මෙහෙම තිබුණොත් if I run this, then the password is actually 1000, right? Password is 1000. Otherwise, like then ඔයාගේ code එක, if somebody gets access to this code, they can easily change the values in the global scope. You got the idea?
Okay. Sir, questions.
Yes, shoot.
You know Wi-Fi like root tags, like you can like get like how do like people do the Wi-Fi root tags without getting locked out of the Wi-Fi, like locked out?
Wi-Fi.
That means like brute force attacks. How do people do
brute
them
force.
without getting locked from the system?
Okay, so there are couple of ways where you can actually try this out, but nowadays this new Wi-Fi systems, it's a bit hard to actually do it because they do have timeouts and methods to kick you out. Okay, so usually what the usual method is, you can actually use a password generator and you can actually run it in an let's say in an iteration, and you can hit the password and see how far you can get in. So brute forcing means, now it's like this. Now with the new routers, it's a bit hard for you to brute force as well, because now this what's the WPA? WPA. Let me show you this Wi-Fi. So we have this WPA security protocol. So WPA actually encrypts your data, as well as we have this version called known as WPA2. So WPA2 actually works as a two-factor authentication thing. You need to literally press the button on the Wi-Fi to give you access. So it's a bit hard, not technically hard, it is impossible to hack a Wi-Fi connection which is using WPA2 or WPA3. But the easiest way is what people do is they basically run scripts trying out different types of brute force attacks into the same Wi-Fi password protocol. So technically speaking, with the newer routers, no, you cannot hack them. No way. That is practically impossible. But the old routers, can you remember this? May if you take one of these EZT and all these SLT routers which was given to us back in about 3, 4, 5 years ago, those routers does not have that type of high-end what do you call it, like high-end encryption methods. So they do allow you to a easy method to hack. So here in my office Wi-Fi also you can see it shows that Wi-Fi is weak. So now we do. So now, since it's a closed network, we are not that much considered about the Wi-Fi security. But then again, yes, we now in this type of a network, WPH, it's just a simple WPA network. Then you do have the option of brute forcing. May if it is a WPS brute force, you can actually check if there are. So, if you want to find more about this, search as Wi-Fi WPA brute force attack, and you will be able to find a massive lot of resources. But please do, please do go through it just for the sake of education. Now, don't try to hack
Like
other people's.
I send you zip files. It's like something I used to like uh, I like forgot my own password and I like purposely forgotten it
Okay.
and then I used it.
Okay, what does this do?
It's a
Uh,
zip files that you need to unzip.
okay, let me check if you develop. Okay, and usage commands. Okay, let's just open this and see. I'll take a Visual Studio Code. Don't save. Don't save, and let's drag and drop this code in and see what it does. Okay, so let's read the source code. This is a Windows command line, no? Okay, so
So I was just gonna ask sir, does sir have terminal on Mac?
I do have a terminal, but this is a Linux terminal, a bash terminal, not a command line. So in order to run
Sir,
this,
how come it works on Windows then? Without a Windows subsystem for Linux?
Windows.
Works on the Windows terminal.
Yeah, so Windows, so this is basically a CMD file, no? This is a command file, no? So command files are literally designed for Windows. But if you have Windows subsystem for Linux WSL installed, then you can actually run, let's say, you can run Linux commands. You can technically switch the command line into a shell, a Linux shell, and then you can run commands on it. So, what does this do? So, okay, NetSH WLAN show in interfaces. This will basically show all the available network cards you have, network interfaces you have, and then, pup, pup, Now we are basically okay. So you get the list of network interfaces, then you get the interface, and then what does it do? It allows you to select the interface, and you go with the batch brute force. So we have a word list. අයියෝ මේක නිකන් සිම්පල් දෙයක්නේ. මේක කරන්නේ මෙතන මේ so you do have a list of words here no?
So you can just put custom word list on there as well.
Yes, exactly. So what it does is, since you have a list of words, it's basically running through the
The thing is, it doesn't get kicked out of the Wi-Fi.
uh not technically, no, because Wi-Fi usually does not have a, let's say, what do you call it, a maximum login attempt thing by default. If you enable it, that's a different story, but it doesn't have a default feature to basically block out password requests. So here, this guy will continuously loop. So it just go through the word list and it scans and target Wi-Fi password count. It's trying. ඕන ඉතින් මේක කරන්නේ මේ ෆයිල් එක රීඩ් කරන එක විතරයි. ෆයිල් එක රීඩ් කරලා it keeps on hitting the connection and see okay, so what it does is it uses the net sh command. Net sh කියන්නේ in Windows we have this command called net sh. So net sh is basically something like a we call them command line utilities. So what it does is it will allow you to run commands, basically control your network configuration completely through the command line. NetSH එකෙන් කරන්නේ ඔක්කොම දේ ඔයාගේ තියෙන complete network configuration ඔක්කොම ටික edit කරන්න update කරන්න. You can do all these things using the command line. See, so you can connect to a remote computer, you can basically run a script file, and you do have a lot of different commands which you can basically do. This is මේක තියෙන මොනවද දන්නවද මේ we have this Windows servers no. So when you connect to a Windows server, you will not technically get access to a GUI. So since you do not get a graphical user interface, the only way to change configurations, do whatever the network level things is by using these commands. So here you do have the option to trace, you have the option to get the interfaces, as well as you can basically execute specific type of scripts to perform different types of activities. So using this, what this guy does is he basically runs the command and he sets the interface and the target, and then it is attempting. I think අරක ගන්නවා import list එක ගන්නවා Wi-Fi list එක. ඒකේ this is going with the encryption and it's basically trying out this file. Yeah, you try to say something. Got the idea? Okay, I'll put some resources on the chat. I'll put some resources on the chat. Just if you guys really want to search this, find out there are multiple lots and lots of tools, and so please do try this out. Just don't try to hack your neighbor's Wi-Fi. Try it out on your own system and
Technically,
see.
sir, because of the walls around our house, it doesn't show any other Wi-Fi networks.
Okay.
Except when I'm in a pharmacy.
Yeah, okay. You might. Okay. So just so the easiest method is to so like if you want to really play around with someone, you can so if you have a public connection, I mean a unprotected Wi-Fi connection where you can publicly join in, then you can do some awesome stuff. So there are like tools which you can actually run, and you can do some man in the middle attacks and see how it works. Example is let's say
The man in the middle attack is like when you like pretend to be the Wi-Fi, the laptop pretends to be the Wi-Fi network, right? And it connects to the Wi-Fi and connects to the user, but it all is in the same laptop.
Correct, but not, it can go into multiple different contexts as well. Not exactly the same thing where you spoofing a Wi-Fi. It's like this. Now, example now, if you take one of just by accessing the internet, what we do is like if you can get access to into a network, you can actually like hook into these activity points, and you can say no, don't connect to this application directly, go through me. So what happens is nothing to do with the Wi-Fi. This is so yes, sometimes you can do the same thing with the Wi-Fi where people will automatically connect to your device, and from your device they will try to access the internet. That is one method. And the other method is if you have access to a public network, then you can spoof and tell the other computers that you are someone else. And so I have done this some long time ago while I was in the university. So I had a Android phone and I had some tools installed in it. So I was able to log into the university uni Wi-Fi, and I changed all the image requests. So what I do is when somebody is requesting a JPG file, I change that request, the data set, to a file which I was transmitting from my phone. ඉතින් මේ ඔක්කොමලා ගිහිල්ලා දැන් Google ගැහුවහමත් මගේ image එකක් තමයි Google එකේ එන්නේ. ඒ වගේ you can do some fun stuff, but it all depends on how you log into the network. So
Yeah, I technically used that brute force attack on our school Wi-Fi.
school Wi-Fi, did it work? ඉතින් අර password.
Technically, sir, I couldn't get the correct Wi-Fi password on like the list of like password I put,
Yeah.
so it could not connect.
No way, දැන්
They
මගේ
changed the password like after like in 20 May they changed the password.
Got it. Okay. Yes. 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 Obviously. But now in my case, I use this a password manager like this. So I am using LastPass, and for all the
Hey, sir, isn't that dangerous, sir? Can't like somebody else just access that?
LastPass.
Yes.
Not exactly, because here the LastPass has something known as a vault. So basically, the vault is protected with two-factor authentication, which is connected to my phone. So because of that reason, nobody can like even if I give you my LastPass username and password, still you can't do access anything since it is two-factor protected. So
Sir, can you tell me the name of it so I can get it as well?
it is LastPass. LastPass.
Or last one.
Yeah, you have a couple of options. So LastPass is something which I've been using for a very long time, and you have also one password. You have one password as well. So this is also one platform, but I'm not sure how one password is not exactly free neither. Personal.
Sir, do we need to pay for it?
Now, yeah, one password is not free. This is free. LastPass is free. LastPass.
That's what I'm asking, sir. Is it free? Like it
LastPass I do have a paid account. That's a different thing. No, there's a free plan. Mithi. There's a free plan. It's free. You can go. So there is a free plan. So see, what does it say? Not ready to buy. See, try our free plan instead. You can always switch to premium later. So yes, you do have a free plan. Maybe number of users, one user, and you have almost all the features are there, and some specific features are not there in the premium. I do use this. There's a thing called a vault in the premium, where we can actually save a lot of like files and things in it, and yeah, you can go with the free one. Otherwise, there is also
Does the
something.
free one is like does not have a limit, right?
No, it doesn't have a limit. ඔමින තව එකක් තිබ්බ ඔමින් there was another alternative. One of my most of my colleagues are using that at office. Okay, hold on. Total password name මොකක්ද කියනවා last pass free. Give me 1 second. Bitwarden මෙන්න මේක Bitwarden. That's also not exactly free. Bomindawan ඒක free. ඒක මම කට්ටි use කරනවා නේද? නෑ ඒක free. මෙති. It has a free layer. And what Bitwarden. Yeah, I sent it on the chat. Bitwarden. Most of my guys are using this. මෙතන free එකට හම්බ වෙනවා 2 accounts, 2 users. And you don't get to save files. That is perfectly okay. You use it to save the usernames and the passwords, and you get health reports, and basically you get almost all the points you need. I thought I never knew this was a paid thing, because most of the guys are using this. Anyway, now what I wanted to show you was, now when I put a password to one of my whatever the account, even if it is a this thing, I mean Wi-Fi, I usually generate a password using this. So, and I normally go for at least for 20 characters. So this type of a password nobody can hack. No way. Not even like if you want to.
So it takes 5 years for a hacker to hack it.
Yes, closely. Since it's 20 characters plus it is mixed, no? Unicode and special characters and so on and so forth. No? Unwiring, it will take a long time. So that's why I said now in my current Wi-Fi also, I'm not that worried about it, because the password is something like this. So I also like, okay, කට්ට තියෙන්නේ මේ කටු වැඩේ තියෙන්නේ මේ if somebody asks you the password, it's really hard to give him the password, because කටෙන් කියන්න බෑ. ඒකයි වැඩේ. So that's the only hard part in it. Okay, Komari may do some research and see, but there is also one specific point where you can actually use something like a flipper 0 to flipper 0. You can use a flipper 0 to actually do a Wi-Fi spoofing. So you do have some different types of applications where you can do a Wi-Fi test, and you can actually try to find out available Wi-Fi signals. So have you heard about the HackCat?
No, sir.
There's a device called no.
Hashtag.
No.
So isn't that made for the that one, right?
නෑ මේක ෆ්ලිපර් එකටම හදපු එකක් තමයි. ෆ්ලිපර් වුණාට you can actually build your own system using this method. It basically give you a full soldering diagram and how to get it done. And once you build it, you can actually.
Sir, one fact about me, I am bad at soldering. Last time, one of those like LCD bulbs, like one of the metal parts,
Okay.
like that small metal like paint with this on there.
Yeah.
One small part while I was soldering just went off.
Okay. Soldering is actually, let's say, it's a bit of an art. You have to practice. You just have to practice,
Sir.
nothing more. Yes. මේ මේකේ තිබ්බා මේ. Yeah, yes, go on. Contact gala.
Sir, can you check the chat?
Sorry, what do you mean? The chat? මේ තියෙන videos ටිකක් තියෙනවා. You have this thing known as a Wi-Fi board. I don't have that board. I really want to use it. මෙහෙමයි.
Where do you live, sir? Like, I think I can find a store on there. If you live in Anuradhapura, it's easy to find a store. You can find it.
Seriously? No, I live in Kalubovila. The thing is, there's this board called the Marauder board. A board that is, nobody imports it into Sri Lanka. That's the problem.
Sir, try AliExpress. It goes overseas. So,
Yeah, I need to check this out. So once you have the board, you can actually plug it into the Flipper Zero. මේකේ තියෙනනේ ports ටික මෙතන මේ තියෙන්නේ ports list එක. So you can actually plug it into the Flipper Zero from the top, and then you can run it, and this will basically do a full scan about all the Wi-Fi's around the location, and you can keep on running a continuous script. I know it's illegal to hack a public network, but it's fun to try this out, because if you do this, you can learn a lot. Okay, don't go and try hacking other people's networks. Okay, perfect. So, shall we jump back to this? Okay, so any questions until now, guys? Okay.
yes, sir.
What about Binlaka? මොකද පොලිමි messages එක. Binlaka, where did you say you got it? Your friend got it from overseas? Okay. I need to find out. Okay, I didn't actually had that much of time to play around with this, but need to try out and see. Okay, perfect. Since this is clear so far, I will then jump to the next point where we talk about parameters. Okay, I already showed you the basic idea about parameters. So how it works is, hold on, na? We already went through this. Yeah.
Sir, he got it from a website.
Okay. You know the website?
I will ask and tell you.
Yeah, sure thing. The problem is this thing is banned in some of the countries. That's why in Sri Lanka it is not banned, so we don't have to worry about that. But the thing is, since it's banned in some of the countries, you can't ship it down. That's the issue. Okay, like two more points to cover up. So we already went through it. I'll just do a refresher. So
I hacked my friend's laptop.
Password or access?
I had told I got like this screen for him, and I tell him take a screenshot and give it to me, and I gave the access for taking a screenshot. I put it on chat, the screen. Sir, that could be a lively wallpaper, though. No,
What is it? Are you got
he's
the...
on a class,
Mm?
and I hacked him. So that's a lively wallpaper. I have seen lively wallpaper.
Maybe. ඔගලන්ට ඕක දඟලන්න ඕන නම් try something like this. So you know this what's the platform name? Anydesk. Okay, so Anydesk මම නිකන් කියන්න හරිද පොඩි නිකන් පොඩ්ඩක් ෆන් වැඩක් කරන්න ඕන නම් කාගේ හරි Anydesk එකේ. So Anydesk is basically a help tool. So you can use Anydesk to help somebody. So let's say if Binloka has this installed on your PC, I can connect to your PC using a Anydesk access key. Okay, so the fun part is once you access someone else's PC, then there is a let's say if you let them access your PC, there is a method where you
I sent the wrong.
You can actually reverse the connection. Okay.
Yeah, I sent the like lively wallpaper picture. I forgot.
මොකක්ද ඇත්ත ෆොටෝ එක? So just search as Anydesk reverse connection and find out how it can be done. So you can actually reverse the connection. So it's like this. Now මේ මෙතනක දැන් මම මෙයාට කියනවා මේ කාටරි කියනවා මට help කරන්න කියලා. So I tell Daham saying that I have a problem in my PC and can you help? So then Daham connects to my PC using Anydesk. And the fun part is in Anydesk we have a method of reversing the connection. Hari, okay. So we can reverse the connection and ultimately I get access to Daham's PC. What's the name?
It is a bit weird.
Okay, is this a screenshot of his desktop or?
No.
Okay.
I lose the qualities.
No worries. Okay, Abhi, let's
Because in my laptop there don't have any space to keep it, and I go to Photoshop and like zip.
Okay, you compressed it.
Yeah.
Nice. Super.
That's why that is so small.
Got it. Okay. Let's wrap this up. So just need to discuss one more point and then that is okay. Then this part is done. But guys, you have to practice. So nattang make it try kare nattang zahen na marno. So parameters are okay. So parameters are basically the data we pass in. Okay. Now let's say if I create a method called calculate, and if you run this, you can see we have two parameters passed in, 1 and 2, right? So and then you basically perform whatever the activity within this function scope, right? So parameters allows you to pass any type of data into a function where then it can be used to process and perform different activities like as you want. So parameters, now you guys have already seen. Now example is now this calculate is a method we just created, no? But without if you take the print function, this particular print function, that acts as the same way, right? This is an internal function which accepts a parameter, right? So the parameter, what it does is it basically, since it is accepting a parameter, it will let you print out that data set into the console, right? So that is how the parameters works. So you do have few examples here. Please do try this out. So these parameters are technically variables which is there inside your subroutine, right? And then you can access it any method as you want. So here we saw another example. Now here you guys saw that the global variable and the local variable example I did. Now since this is defined in the global scope, I was it didn't sorry I didn't want to inject it into the function because it was already defined in the global scope. But if I try to do something like this, if we say, let's say, if I try to pass in a variable as a parameter, now if I run this, I'm obviously going to get an error because this function expects to have a variable, right? So if I add a name here, then see what happened. So now the global variable is already there, but I replaced the global variable with the parameter which I added into the function. So in this case, what happens is automatically the global variable gets replaced and my local variable, which is the parameter, takes over. Now if I try to remove this and if we run, let's see what happens. Now we are going to get another error. Now in this case, it says the greet function takes 0 positional arguments, but one was given. So that means it says the greet function doesn't need any arguments because no parameters were defined, right? So if I remove these and if we run, just like that, it works. So we reverted the code back. So now we are basically taking the global variable and attaching it into the main system. Okay, so that is the idea behind the parameters. Okay, so this yeah, the scope is the part which we just went through, and there is an example. So here we do something known as like a registration of a new user. So 1 2 3 4 5 6, sorry, 1 2 3 4, right? So depending on the input, you basically check and run a specific function, right?
Sir,
Yes, shoot.
can you check the chat?
Yeah. No, I actually don't know about that, man. Because
There is just search up lively wallpaper and then like there's a full on app called lively wallpaper.
lively wallpapers. Okay, I haven't used it because
So I have the app, sir, but I like stopped using it because it may like uses like some of your memory to like use it,
yes,
like put
obviously,
lively
yes,
wallpaper.
yes. Of course, yes.
Just not that one. Just search up lively wallpaper.
Lively,
Yes, lively wallpaper.
lively wallpaper.
Lively wallpaper may that one Microsoft Store
Make
one.
okay. That's why I'm not getting it. Ah, so it's something you can install. Lively
Yes,
wallpaper.
sir. Like the thing is, it hasn't like released the gallery yet. It has like the free ones still. It hasn't released the full gallery.
But it should be taking a massive lot
So
of
like if you
space.
have it on for a while, sir, and
Yeah.
you like let's say you open Firefox or any browser,
Hmm?
like
Hmm?
after a few minutes, it just like pauses itself. So like the your computer can run properly.
Okay.
Or it's like it's like stuck.
Yeah, that's true. But see the specifications. These guys are like recommending 8 GB of memory. This is like
Thing
a
is, I have more than it, so I am fine. I have more than it.
yeah, but then again, why are you using this to like slow
Just
down the
make a
PC?
PC just look better.
I know. Yes. In Mac OS also there are something known as live wallpapers, but I haven't used them yet. But yeah. There's this thing called
Like there's a like dynamic wallpapers, right, for Mac?
yes, there's a lot. There's a lot. There are like couple of applications for Maxi. This is, I think, something similar to that, no? See, it works. Most
Yes.
of the time,
So on Lively wallpaper, if you like copy a YouTube URL and you can
uh,
paste it in and like use it as your Lively wallpaper.
so it basically plays the video. Plays the
Yeah,
video.
it plays the video over and over again.
Ah,
On
okay.
Steam, they are having another one.
Steam is full of games.
Yeah.
No, we have another one. We have a website.
Yeah, but in Mac OS, by default, the wallpaper animates by default. Eh,
My Steam is upgrading because of that. I can't show it.
okay. No worries, no worries. මේ තියෙන්නේ දැන් මේකේ by default මේකේ wallpaper එක ඇත්තටම animated now, but I don't have that. So it basically animates when you lock the this thing.
Screen.
Lock the screen. Yeah, hold on. Cool. What am I using now? I'm using this Dubai landscape now. See, if you click here,
So can I show my wallpaper?
yeah, sure thing. Oh,
I installed the Lively wallpaper website, but
yeah, you can share.
I
Are you sharing?
yeah. Is this the website, right?
Yeah. Ade, that works, right? You can move your.
Sir, can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, you can
This
move
is
your
the website,
mouse.
right?
I don't know. Is that the one?
Wait, sir. Yes, that is Lively wallpaper, sir. You can just tell the name. That's the whole thing.
Yes.
No, they're having a lot of websites because
So these
of
are
that
all
time.
like specifically animated items. Can you click on them and change?
No.
Yes, sir. Like not all of them are like from Lively wallpaper. Like I can see like 6
Yeah, I
wallpapers
added
which
something.
he put in.
Yeah.
Ah,
This is
By the way,
one
why
of
are you using rain meter?
they gave me.
what is the rain
How
meter?
do you know that?
Why are you using rain meter?
Because
Rain meter is the one which is on the like where you get the CPU specs.
Yeah,
no,
that one and the
date and time.
everything.
Date and time also comes in it. Yeah, okay.
It like uses some of the memory for it as well. That's why it's all lagging.
Is it? Okay.
But mostly memory is used by the Lively wallpaper.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Some are like connect to the mouse.
Doesn't it slow it down if you try to play a game or something?
Yes, it does.
It does, right?
It
It should
No.
technically.
And depending on your like device, it does.
Yeah.
Because
Oh.
my one is an Ace Aspire 2, it like lags a bit, but
Okay.
works fine.
Yeah, I'm all about performance. I really don't have the capacity to do something like that.
We
Okay.
can
My
customize
one
it.
technically, when it runs the game or it's in Firefox, after a few minutes, it just pauses the lively wallpaper.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay,
my
okay,
one
okay.
also.
Okay. Ah, that's good. Okay.
My
Pe-
father tell me to put this one.
Periodic table is actually good to have. Okay, shall we jump back?
When we are click on it, it is popping up.
Yes. It shows you the name and everything, right?
Yeah.
Sir, may how much storage is like? How much storage is one may like? What is like 1 terabyte?
1 terabyte is
1000 GB.
1000 gigabytes.
Okay.
So usually, yeah. So nowadays,
Is there another one called gigabyte? The
Terabyte.
gigabyte or something else.
Oh,
we
sir, like I need 271 more GB to get 1 terabyte.
okay. What is your storage? What is the
Like because like mine is separated into drives, it's like different. Like, but when I add them all, it's like 729 GB.
got? Yeah, that's true. So that is because in Windows, there's a thing called a um. Can you share your screen a little bit for a second?
Yeah, sure. Wait, so I need to close my web browser or else it will start getting stuck.
Okay, just go to open this and go to Windows disk disk overview.
Windows disk overview.
Yeah, so you can
Is
actually
it an integrated thing on the system?
yeah, you just have to right click on your okay, this is how we can take it. Right click on your
Drive.
my computer icon, my computer, or right click on the what do you call this thing? Windows මේකට යන්නේ මොකද්ද? Windows icon එක.
The wait, this PC. This
මේ-
PC.
Have you seen this particular view? This computer management? No, just
Yeah,
search
sir.
as.
That's how I like separate my drives.
Yeah. So if you go here, you might be able to see there is going to be a couple of partitions where it will have a backup. So what Windows does is Windows වල තියෙනවානේ මේ snapshots කියලා concept එකක්. Have you heard about it?
Yeah.
Yes, so what it does is it actually keeps the snapshots in a separate drive. So
So did you watch the trailer of like the Windows 12?
what? Which trailer?
Windows 12 trailer?
No, is Windows 12 coming out?
So Windows 12 is not even out yet.
Are they
They say
planning
they are
to?
gonna.
No, it is.
Microsoft
Yeah.
said they are gonna release it in 2024.
It says might arrive sometime
No,
after
they are
2025.
giving out the trailer.
Seriously?
So how can we go to like that thing you just told us?
Device manager.
Yes, I have forgotten my way.
Yeah,
I'm on
just
Windows 11, so it's a bit complicated than Windows 10.
Windows 11 device manager. I actually haven't used device Windows 11 na, so I'm pretty much new to that. So just search as just go to system.
Oh, never mind, sir. I just searched up device manager and it pops up.
Pops up, right? Can you see the hard disks in it?
Oh, wait, I just need to open it. So may I just share my screen?
Yes.
Does sir know how to navigate through Windows?
Yeah, sure.
11?
No problem. You can share the screen.
I send the
How do we
link.
share the whole thing, sir? The whole, like, full on thing?
Sir, I send the link for Windows 12 trailer.
That's a concept trailer. Official
Yeah.
trailer ගන්න නෙමෙයි.
It's not the real trailer.
Yes, it's a concept.
The cancel theme
No,
is
they are
it
telling
is-
it is a trailer.
It is loading. Hold on. No? Make yeah. Okay. Perfect. So just click on the Windows icon and search as okay. No. ඔය තියෙන
You
device
have
manager නේ.
Minecraft.
What we want is computer management. Search as computer management. Computer. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Yes. So just open it. Open now.
yes, it takes time, sir.
Okay, now go to disk management.
Where is it?
Left hand menu. Yes, that's the one. Anna Hari. You should be able to see your disks. See? Okay.
So is there a way to connect like disks that we don't use with the C drive?
Yeah, you can actually. So then now you
You're
have
using a PC?
1, 2, 3, 4. You have 5 partitions, no?
Wait,
Yeah, 5 partitions.
sir.
ඔය තියෙන පහක් තියෙනනේ. දැන් ඔයා ඔය G එකක් තියෙන්නේ ඔයා use කරන්නේ නැති G එක. May do this ඒකට වෙලා යනවා. Make sure you take your time and do it. So what
Even though it shows that I don't use the G drive, it has a few memory.
okay.
And it's moved into a
So
different drive.
yeah, you will have to back it up first and then මම නිකන් කරන්න හැටි කියන්නම් පස්සේ කරන්න වෙලාව දාලා. You so just go to the computer management.
Sir, can you wait until I just...
So
Do you using a PC?
No, it's an Acer Aspire 3 laptop.
okay, may right click on the C drive. උත්තර.
So can you wait until this finishes?
Yeah, sure.
Just 10 seconds. That's it.
You have T-Launch, right?
Yes, C launcher and SK launcher.
Right click on the C drive. I'll show you where the option is. ඒකේ තියෙනවා
What does it do?
and go to properties. No, sorry. Okay, එනවා. Now see that extend volume option?
Yes.
And that option will be enabled if you have space. Now in this case you don't have enough you don't have any space now, so what you can do is you can delete the partition you don't need, and then
That meant
then you have this Adobe Illustrator partition which doesn't have
I
any
just
data.
took everything out of it.
Yeah, so you can actually okay. Now what you can do is from the manager, you can right click and you can delete it.
Right click and delete.
ඔතන නෙමෙයි. Computer management.
I just want to check the name again. I sometimes forget.
Yeah, Adobe Illustrator. So right click, you can actually delete the volume there. Okay. Yeah, this will basically remove it. Okay. Currently in use. Yeah, you will have to.
Sir, should I just click yes?
Yeah, you can.
There's technically nothing inside.
Okay, yes, then it's okay. Okay, so it will forcefully delete it. Now, perfect. Now you have unallocated space. Now right click on C. And no, C doesn't let you do it. No.
None of the drive.
No.
Oh,
Okay. So
my drive lets me do it. My one.
do you have a hard do you have two disks in it in your device?
No, only one day.
Okay, click on device manager on the left hand menu. Device manager, last item. Yes.
Sir, if this does not work, that means I just risked one of my drives.
No, you can just reformat it. No worries. Just click on disk drives now under the computer. No, no. Right side. Yata. Go down. Yeah. Click on disk drives. The one next to the computer. Up.
Oh, thank you, Vipula Sir.
Welcome.
Okay, so you have only one disk now. Hari, okay, so I think your partitions are created in a way. Your C drive is basically dedicated to a separate partition group. That's why. Don't do anything in that. You are going to mess up your entire machine if you do it.
Sir, I did not even touch the mouse and it right click.
Okay, so
Who did that?
no. So that means Daham, you cannot do it directly using the disk management. So you can basically create that partition back. You just click there.
Sir, do we need to use an app to connect?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. You can use something like
Technically, sir, if you look at this, I'm running out of space.
yes. You
Last
can.
time I tried it was red, and I removed the temporary files.
I think it will be easy if you use something like this partition manager. You can use the partition manager. Just search as partition manager. I think you'll have to download a version, and then inside the partition manager, it allows you to let's say resize. Just search as partition manager. So there's a tool called partition wizard. I have used that multiple times, so that is actually quite safe.
Are you sure? It's a which one, sir?
Yeah, the first one.
Sir, how come, sir, my one is just right clicking?
Did you give access
Are you
to?
using a mouse?
Yes.
Did you
Ah,
give
that's right.
access to someone? No, right?
No, there's no one using.
My one also do that sometimes.
Okay, you can
Sir,
actually
if this just keeps on going, I need to use these things for a day.
No worries. So from there you can actually download the free version and you can resize. Sometimes if the free doesn't let you do whatever the version thing, just try to find a paid version and you know how to find softwares. No, so try to find a paid version and get it done. There you do get the option of resizing partitions. So I'll just show you partition. See, this is give me 1 second. I'll send you a link. See this.
Okay.
This is how you can do it. So once you have the space, then you can actually now since you have enough empty space in it, you can use the
Sir,
partition.
if you are looking for like free apps to use for Mac, just go to filescr.com.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Sir, technically, sir, is it safe?
It is up to you will have to take the risk and install because there are some lot of applications which it does not basically.
So technically, sir, I download games from Steam and FileCR. So
Okay. Check my screen. So here, when you install it,
What kind of games do you play?
Minecraft, Roblox, and others like Counter Strike.
Okay.
okay, we still have few minutes to finish this up. Shall we jump back?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so try that out and you can actually reformat the drive if you want. You can right click on that and format it again. Then
Sir?
that would create a new account. Yeah, sorry, a new drive. Yeah, yes.
You didn't you didn't show us your like what is called it? Nintendo like Game Boy.
The Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Nanny, it's at home basically. I haven't taken it out for I think for a
In Sri
long
Lanka,
time.
they are not. In Sri Lanka, I asked every my friend to download Call of Duty Mobile, but they are telling it. But Free Fire is good.
So there is a problem with the Steam Deck though. Like if the OS crashes and you want to like reboot itself, like we have to go through many steps to put it back in. It uses
Yeah,
a Linux-based server.
I know, I know. I've been using the Steam Deck for almost a year now. So I completely customized my Steam Deck. I
So do
reformatted
you
it.
ever play Call of Duty?
I used to play that on my PlayStation, but no long. I don't play it anymore. Man.
Mobile game?
So
Call of.
shall I just tell you something funny you can do to an old computer and it will just crash?
Yeah, what?
Just search up me Among Us OS.
Among Us.
Among Us.
Among Us.
It's on
It
GitHub. You
instantly
can actually
crashed.
download it.
Okay. That's a.
It instantly crashed your games. Almost.
It like full on slows your computer down.
Yeah. I did it when I was go to my friend's house and they
So
have
if you're
an
wondering what are the
old
results,
computer
you can
and
just
I downloaded it and it crashed.
so if you're wondering what are the results, just go on YouTube and search up basically homeless Among Us OS.
Okay. What? What do you get?
He's just a YouTuber who just does IDK what like it just crashes computers, makes CD setups and stuff.
Okay. Nice. I'll check it. I'll check it for sure.
So do you know anyone playing Call of Duty Mobile?
No man.
I don't have any friends
I know
there.
one,
Who?
Johnny Dupandara, a friend in my school.
Okay.
I don't know his username though. If I knew his username, I would have given it to you.
I don't have any friends in Sri Lanka. I only have India, Bangladesh, and Maldives and Australia. No one in Sri Lanka.
Okay, guys, one more point. Let's jump
Back to
in
the
and
lecture.
finish this up. So, yeah, so we basically talked about. Give me 1 second. Once this is done, it's basically yeah, it's done. We can wrap the part off. So okay, so the idea is we have we have so we went through the functionality. So we talked about how to create functions and methods, and we basically covered up the main flow for the application, right? Now the final part is about testing and evaluation. Okay, so testing and evaluation is mainly focused for applications, large scale applications, where you might guys, give me 1 second. Hello. Hello.
Taham,
Okay, okay, okay.
do you know
Okay,
your friend?
give me
My
one
friend
moment.
is in my school. Of
Yeah.
course, I have to know my friend, but I don't know his username.
No, can you ask him the username and tell me?
Yeah, I'll tell you by next week.
Okay. Uh, can I get your number, please?
My number.
Yeah.
Wait, I'll just send it in.
Okay.
Hello, sorry. Okay, so testing, testing and evaluation. You can hear me? Yeah, perfect. So we need testing. We need to do basically testing of everything we write. Okay, so there are different types of errors which can be there in a program. So primarily there can be logic errors, right? So කියමු අපි calculation එකක් දානකොට calculation එකේ plus වෙනකොට minus වැටෙනවා. So we put some sort of if condition, and the greater than or the less than sign might change, right? So at that type of a situation, if we get into that type of situation, we need to have a particular method to check and evaluate and test, right? So different programs have different testing methods, different languages have different testing methods. Overall, we need to come up with a particular test plan, right? So, and then based on this test plan, we can evaluate and see. So, how do we check this? There are a certain set of points which we have to follow up. So, primarily, logic errors. So, logic errors means this might sometimes this might be, let's say, based on the algorithm. Now here, let's say if we take this following code, the following algorithm is basically intended to work out whether the learner has passed a test. Okay, so the learners need a score of 80 or above to pass the test. However, here if you check the code, see how it has mentioned. So in order to pass the test, you need to have 80 or more than 80. No? But here the logical validation or the condition is other way around. So it's checking if the test score is less than or equals 80, right? Then that means technically the code is correct, yes, of course. But the problem is what we need to check is if the learner is above 80, right? So that greater than sign, now it's basically testing if it is less than or equals, but it has to be changed into greater than or equals, right? So these type of logical errors are a bit tricky to track because the problem is the code works, right? So then you will have to come up with a testing plan and you will have to exactly validate the exact expected output is basically given out when you run the code, because without the expected output, then without having the exact expected output, it's not going to be practical, right? So for this, what we do is we do write test evaluations where we start with, like as we did before, we start with going through a particular flow chart, like a system flow. So while we do the primary reason we do this is to basically to make sure that the flow is properly iterated. Okay, so that is one. Then we do have another issue where we might have to go through a particular variable to find out if this variable value is correct or properly defined. So that is what something like this. So what we do is, now example is if we have a main value allocated and if that value or the number is not actually defined or the particular value is not within that particular algorithm, then again it's going to be a problem. Example is, let's say if we are running a loop to check if a particular number is above or let's say greater than a certain amount, then we have to come up with a loop to basically go through it and find out if that number is correct, right? So we basically use something known as a trace table to actually find this algorithm and go through it. So you guys might have noticed when you use the collab, you can actually move your mouse over to one of the values and see it how it exactly worked. Now example, if I run this code again and if I move my mouse over one of the values, you can see the parameters are there. Now in this case, if I move the mouse over a specific value, cool. If I do something, you see, it will basically show you a particular trace table and you can check and see what's the value is, what value was passed in. Okay, so the new editors, I mean the new high level editors and all, they all do support this particular system where we can actually find out exactly what are the data points which was passed in. So that is about the values. And then we do have the next point where we have syntax errors. So syntax errors are technically a bit easy to track, because not like logical errors, because in logical errors the code works, no, but the logic is incorrect. But syntax errors and runtime errors, they basically prevent the code from executing. So a basic syntax error is you mistype a function. Like example, if you take the print function, instead of writing it as print, if you type it as prnit, then the syntax is wrong, no? So in that case, it would completely hold the code, right? Hold the code, as well as depending on the language, sometimes a closing bracket or a quotation mark or any sort of a syntax error which goes outside the scope of that particular programming language will break the code. Okay, so syntax errors are technically easy to find out because it gives you an error, no? So it basically gives you a visible error so that you can find out what happened. Runtime errors are something else. So runtime errors, still they will break the code obviously, and they will basically show you a particular point, but there are chances sometimes it is going to be a bit hard for you to find where the exact issue is. Example is, if you take these two numbers, okay, and let's try this out. I'll show you guys how it works. So okay, let's take a new one. Okay, so number 1 equals int input number 1, and if I take this as well, number 2. Okay, and then let's just divide the numbers. So let's say result equals number 1 divided by number 2. Okay, and then we print the result. So let's try this out. So let's, number 1 I'll put 10, and number 2 let's say 5. The answer is 2, right? So the code works, right? The code particularly works. Let's try this out again. Let's put 20 and let's put 5. We should get 4, right? But we have a problem. If I put something else, let's say if I put number 1 as 0 and number 2 as 20, then I'm going to get 0. Let's do it in the other way around. What happened? So you can divide anything, 0 can be divided by anything, any number, right? If you do that, you're just going to get 0. But if you try to divide a number with 0, then that is a divisional error, right? Because you cannot divide a number by 0. That's like, technically you can't do that. So now this is a runtime error, right? So in this case, we kind of get into a problem also, because now the code properly worked, no? But the problem is the error was thrown out at this particular point because we were trying to divide a value by 0. Okay, so in this case, to prevent these type of errors, we really need to focus on conditions. So that's why we say primarily we need to test. At the same time, we have to make sure that in order to make sure that these type of issues are rectified or prevented, then we have to find out exactly how we can run the conditions. So in this case, we will obviously need to add a couple of conditions to check and prevent a user from adding a number as 0. So that is the base idea about the testing. Then so this is what we discussed, And then the fun part is when we use something like an IDE, an integrated development environment, this automatically helps us to identify a certain set of errors. So, like as we have on collab, if you make a mistake in collab, it will automatically get highlighted in red. So, see, now since this was executed, Google Colab understood that there is a problem. So, here when you move your mouse over these, you can see the number 1 was 20 and the number 2 was as 0. And then the result is basically given out as a error. See, it says 0 division error, division by 0. Okay, so this is why we use IDEs to code. So it will basically give us a few set of messages which is mainly focused on syntax errors, code indentation errors. If the indentation is not properly set up, then you are going to get an error, plus type errors if a value cannot be converted into int. Example is let's say before you write the code, before you run the code itself, it goes through this list of conditions and then it gives you the type error plus the error which we just saw, 0 division error, and also errors which will something similar to name errors if a name is not defined or referring to a variable or a subprogram which does not exist. These guys are intelligent enough to basically show you what it is. So there's a massive lot of IDEs, integrated development environments available. So we do have this on like web-based IDEs, which is something similar to Collab what we are using, or the most popular IDE for the moment is for Python. We have this something. We have an IDE called PyCharm, which is developed by IntelliJ, and Java also we have Eclipse, IntelliJ, and so and so. Like there's a massive lot of IDEs which you can use, and be careful, guys. Don't mix this up. Visual Studio Code is not technically an IDE. Okay, so VS Code is, yes, you use that to code, but VS Code is taken as a code editor, not an IDE. But yes, you do have the option of customizing VS Code so that it will make sure or it will help you identify errors and code easily. Okay, so you can use different types of code. Daham, what's the editor you are using to work on Python?
That makes sense.
What's the Python editor you are using on your laptop?
The idea is that
Yes, the IDE.
I just told you the IDLE.
You use what?
The Python IDLE.
Ah, yes, yes. Okay. I haven't used it. Literally, I haven't used it. I have used so for Python. Just check this out. I'm not sure whether it's not free neither. PyCharm බලමු කීයද කියලා. Yeah, it's not cheap. It's $99 per year. Okay. Yeah, but there is a system for students and teachers. You can get it for free, but there is a there is a method of getting this pen. I'm not sure what's the exact flow is. You have to submit some details about your like student IDs and all, and then you do have the option of getting this for free. So anyway, if you're working on something, just go and download this because you get a 30-day trial. So you can play around with it and see what type of features it supports. It basically have the Pandas, Jupyter, and Anaconda inbuilt. So it's basically help you work
What?
on the same thing. What? No, I didn't.
Yeah, animal names. So.
Yeah, they are all Python plugins. So you do have a
Okay.
massive lot of these things. So the Jupyter, so this workbook architecture, this was actually built by a company called like a system called Jupyter. So now the collab is actually running or using the same concept of Jupyter workbooks. So that's why we have these code blocks, and then we can execute it and see, because that is mainly used for data mining and data like building AI tools and all. Okay, super. So let's quickly jump back. So yeah, okay. So I hope that part is clear. So now, the final part in testing is we create something like a test plan. Okay, so a test plan is a, let's say it's a form or it's a table of content which you will create before you start building the application. So example is so we do have a test number, a purpose of the test. Mm, let's say, just to say what are you going to test, and then you have a list of test data. Okay, and then at the same time you need to have the expected result as well. So example, if we take this if we take the example which we did for the students marks. Okay, so how it should work is, if you pass the data as 0, then the expected result should be fail. Right? If it is 55, then the result should be D, 65C, 75B, and 85A. Right? Likewise, we will have to test all the combinations there can be in the system. So in this case, now if you take the first test case, that is the best case scenario, right? That is a certain set of marks which can be given or can be taken by a student based on a certain limit, based on a certain threshold, right? But other way around, we have to check the boundaries as well, right? We learned about the boundary values, so the boundaries has to be tested also, because now if 0, fail, perfect, that is obviously true, no? But then any value starting from 1 until 59 should be fall under the condition as D, and 60 to 69 C, 70 to 79 B, and 80 to 100 A. Right? So all these conditions you have to first understand and write it down, and then only we start to execute and see. Okay, so this test planning, I know it's a big task to build the test planning, because you have to focus on the normal data, you have to focus on the boundary data, as well as you have to focus on anonymous data, which will be passed through the test. So I know, yeah. Sorry, yes. Any questions?
That I make a website by AI.
Okay, let me finish this part and then let's go through. Okay, so the final point is, so now once we build this test test plan, now then we have to basically go through this and see, right? So if the value, if it fails by any chance, if the test fails, then obviously we have to come up with a specific details on what type of action which is needed to rectify or make sure the test passed. Right? So now, evaluating wise, it's going to be a long task, because you have to run this part of testing. So for this, what we do is, as programmers, we use something known as testing tools. So for each and every language, we have a massive lot of different methods of testing. So we have this testing called automated testing, and we have test runners, we have deployment testing, and so on and so forth. So what we do is, first we need to write the test cases like this. And once these test cases are written, then we can run these test cases automatically and get a result at the end. So technically you do not need to run this case one by one, but you need to write the test plan. Okay, so that is how the testing works. So yeah, so please do go through the codings which is available. So there are some unit questions which you can do, and we can then, once it's done, we can jump into unit 3. Perfect. Okay, so guys, any questions?
Sir.
Yes, shoot.
There are